Although the United States is a late entry to the war, they really helped turn the tide, they and of course that influenza epidemic that I briefly alluded to in the title of the last slide, which means that when it comes time to figure out what to do after the war, the United States has a say, and its president, Woodrow Wilson, develops a list of what he calls the 14 points that he thinks are going to be necessary for rebuilding Europe and the world and preventing something like this from happening again. The image I've got here, I just love it. It's his shorthand, so these are his actual notes of the points. But the biggest of them are the idea that, hey, secret treaties are bad. Think about how they led to the outbreak of war so quickly. Secret treaties should not exist. The seas don't belong to anyone, so we didn't talk a ton about unrestricted submarine warfare that really targets lots of both German, British, and U.S. ships, and in many ways is responsible for the United States joining the war. But there's the notion that anybody should be able to travel on open seas. Free trade with any countries. Getting rid of the types of weapons that created the context of World War I. Deproliferation. Less colonialism, right? Think about the causes of World War I. Militarism, less weapons. Alliances, no secret treaties. Imperialism, less colonization, right? And lastly, he proposes the idea of a League of Nations, some type of governing body with representatives from all over the world to try and figure out how different countries can get together, how they can live peacefully. The end result of this is unfortunately that there's a lot of pushback. The victors in Europe, Britain and France especially, are really interested in taking advantage of their dominance, and in many ways people are interested in revenge. So Wilson ends up pretty much giving up on all of his ideas with the exception of the League of Nations, and the great irony is that the United States refuses to join that League of Nations. So let's take a look at a little bit more how this plays out in the next slide.